Darkcast Network. The light shines brightest on our indie podcasts.
Warning. The following podcast may occasionally contain strong language and material that is not suitable for all ages. If you are easily offended, it is highly advised that you turn back now. However, if you're a degenerate, welcome, brethren. You've found your home.
Welcome to the Crime Diner. We're a Jersey podcast, and on the menu is a variety of true crime, cults, mysteries, historical hilarities, and sometimes victim stories. We do this within a Dinner with Friends theme. I'm Nidia.
I'm Dana.
I'm Cindy.
So last week I told you a story about Norman G. Baker, the carnival barker that sold cancer cures to so many unfortunate Americans, and you know, who just happen to have the money, sometimes their life savings taken away from them along with their care because like they went uncared for. And how they not too long ago found jars with human remains in them.
Hate that.
Yeah, he was chopping them up in the basement of the Crescent Hotel. Taking out their tumors, and calling them cured after death.
Tumors, yeah. I felt like you told that story specifically for me.
Yeah, because it was a love story for you.
It was. I really appreciated that.
It was an homage.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much. Did you ever see the movie Man in the Moon? Jim Carrey, Man in the Moon, where Jim Carrey plays Andy Kaufman. So if you never saw that movie, there's a part. You know, he died. You know, Andy Kaufman dies at some point. And so but he's really sick, and he goes to this like healer, which is basically like, it was reminding me of that he goes to this healer where the guy like puts his hand on his stomach and he like shamalama whatever, and then he like pulls out all this like gunk from it, like with his fingers from his abdomen, and then like Andy Kaufman realizes that like, oh, it's like gauze with like jello on it and shit, and he like spent all this money to like go to this, you know, retreat to like, it's so sad. It's such a good movie. It's a really, really good movie.
Hearing you say Gamalama the other day we were with my nephew and my great nephew. And
because you old bitch.
Right, I'm old. Or my niece had him very young. So he's the coolest little kid, and he said that he could do a magic trick because we're at a diner having breakfast, all of us. He says he can do a magic trick and make something disappear. Right? Really, what he did was he, I guess he learned it in school, where he took a straw and like tightened it really tight, and then poured water over it, and the straw expanded. Right? So really, that's what he did, right? But they were like, he was like, I learned a magic trick, guys, watch this, watch this, and he does that. And Natalie's like, wait, you got to say the magic word. And he's like thinking for a second. And he's like, please work. Oh my God. And then he pours the water on it. And he's like, ta-da. But his magic word was, please work.
That's so cute. That's so adorable.
And we just laughed and laughed.
My dad's side of the family is like huge, right? Like this big. My dad has 11 brothers and sisters. I have like 60 plus first cousins or some insane thing like that. And we would all go to this diner around here, and like we would rent out like a whole room. Yeah, and have like fucking breakfast on a Sunday. Like we were just assholes. My cousins, when we were younger, they'd be like, I could poke my eye out with a fork. And then they would like put their hand over their eye like this. And they would take the fork and and all this white stuff would come out. Like all this. And I didn't know for like many years that it was a creamer. They were like poking a creamer. And I was like, how was your eye fine? That was very dumb.
And then when we ask you, when did you learn? You're like 18?
3 years ago. Sometimes when I'm at the diner, I like look at the creamer packets and I'm like, God, how did they do that? And I just didn't know. Yeah, I just didn't fucking know.
They had it in their hand.
They were good, yeah.
It was a sleight of
talented,
hand.
Very talented cousins I have.
Early magic.
Yeah, my dad also would get to the red light and be like, Genie, turn that red light greeny. But he would watch the other one that would turn. Yeah. And I thought he was magic till I was like fucking 13. Like truly, I was like, how are you doing that every time?
Oh my God.
I was a sucker.
That's cute. So what's your story this week?
What if I told you that Pepsi had a hand in killing 5 people, even though they're a super ethical company. I've never done anything wrong.
Wait, what? Well, so I mean, we've done stories about the Dole company, and so yeah, that checks.
Par for the course, right?
Par for the course. I'm certain that the chemicals in a Pepsi that can eat a freaking penny
True.
are not healthy.
Yeah,
so
this is not
it's
that.
not far fetched.
Yeah, that's true.
That they would kill more than 5 people.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in hearing how.
All right.
But first, the food. Let us pray. Bless us, O patrons, for these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy donations through Patreon every month under the power of the V podcast.
Cult.
I know that's some kind of stew, and then there's some rice, but what's that other thing?
That's lumpia.
Lumpia.
Sound familiar?
Lumpia.
I hate you so much.
What is it?
It's Filipino food.
Oh, okay. Let me get used to it. Natalie's about to marry a Filipino boy.
Yeah. So, I thought that you might know some of this just because of that, but okay.
No, Natalie's never had me over her house for dinner.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I'm not bitter. She's only been with the boy for 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, I know, right?
So this is beef mechado. This is lumpia. And just the rice to go with the beef stew. And then the drink is called punyeta.
Ooh, you know what a punyeta is?
No.
Oh my God. Is that what they really call it?
It's called punyeta.
Okay, so punyeta, it means is jerking off.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Or
right.
fuck off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's iced tea, pineapple juice, and rum.
I have a question about Spanish. Mm-hmm. Because their Spanish is like colonized by Spain, does that mean it's a different kind of Spanish than your
Definitely.
Spanish?
Yeah, they speak different.
So maybe that means something else to them, potentially?
Potentially.
No, it's the same.
Really?
I looked it
That's
up.
it?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I looked it up.
I know
It's
that
the
they
same.
have a lot of like Spanish last names, and a lot of the words and the foods are kind of
Sure.
similar, but the different regions, because there's like so many little islands.
7,600.
Yes, they all have, not all of them, but they have like
Yeah.
different dialects
Gotcha,
and
gotcha,
languages
gotcha.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it fucking smells so good.
Oh my God, can't wait.
It smells so good. I want to eat some.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
wanna have some.
Yep. Food.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit like more about this food specifically? Like what is in a lumpia?
I did it with ground pork, cabbage, carrots, onions.
And then you put it in that little like rice paper stuff.
It was spring roll wrap.
A spring roll wrap. And
That
then
was
There's
delicious.
actually lumpia wraps that look more like a thin egg roll, but this was a spring roll wrap because that was easier to find.
and what, you deep fry them?
Deep fry them.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I've only had those one other time, and actually it was just this summer at a barbecue that we were at.
really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You might even have eaten one because it was at a barbecue we were at.
What barbecue?
At the Christmas and July party.
You probably thought they were taquitos.
Yeah, everybody thought they were taquitos, and they kept being like, "Who made these taquitos?" And she's like, "They're lumpias." I'm like, what the fuck is a lumpia?
Oh, I hate so many taquitos. I was like, holy shit, this is the best taquito I've ever had.
Yeah, they were lumpias.
Yeah.
She had found them at a Filipino restaurant out by where she lived.
Oh.
But she actually makes them from scratch, so I actually reached out to her and got some feedback.
Nice.
Wow.
So the soup is, the stew.
Yeah.
Is it a stew? Is that what we're saying? Mm-hmm. It's so filling. The meat is so good.
Yes, it is.
I love the potatoes.
The potato.
But it's so filling and really tasty. Nydia said it had some sort of flowery undertones, which I do
Floral.
sense. Yeah, I do like feel it, but it's not like super overpowering.
And I gotta say, that was probably from the lemon rind that.
So you just
They
like
cooked in.
put it in there, like peeled it off and put it in there. Would you pick it out? It's still
probably.
in there? Okay.
It might still be in there.
Yeah, it gave it a nice, unique little flavor. I really, really like this food. And
Yeah.
it's nice to not be eating something British, which is what we seem to always be eating.
Right. It gave like a nice nose feel.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like when you're eating and then like you get like the scent and it's kind of aromatic and floral. it kind of like
a nose feel.
It distracts you from the flavor.
Right. It enhances the flavor.
Yeah, it enhances, but like it also like you're like, oh, that's different. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. it gave her a nice nose feel. Mm-hmm. There you have it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, the lumpias. Who knew?
Okay, so tell us about this drink. Tell us about this jerk off drink.
You're having jizz.
Great, my favorite.
Literally, Pure Leaf, which is a Pepsi product. That's important to know.
Uh-huh.
And pineapple juice and white rum.
That
was it.
Pure Leaf meaning like unsweetened iced tea?
Unsweetened iced tea.
You know that's my favorite drink in the whole entire world.
I'm aware.
I just want to make sure everybody knows.
She just went...
I could drink this jerk off drink. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
Dana likes it when you jerk off directly into her mouth.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said. Speaking of not what I said, I do have a story to tell you.
Okay.
Just a quick little thing that happened to me the other night.
Uh-huh.
I have been inundated with telemarketers lately. Just fucking inundated. And like, I do like a thing where I'll just block. And then like they seem to go away for a while and then they come back. I don't know what the fuck I put my name on. Nonstop with this let us buy your house that I have not lived in for 3 years. Also never owned it.
Right.
It was my ex-wife's house. I haven't been there for 3 years. Also, she no longer owns it.
Right.
Okay? That's like very fucking important. But my ex-wife changed her number. So I guess my number must be the only number connected to this house from 3 years ago. So I'm cooking dinner. I wasn't even cooking. I wasn't going to eat the food, but I get one of those meal kits. And like my favorite procrastinating asshole move is that I don't cook the food until it's about to go bad. And then I have to cook all 3 meals in one night.
Oh, shit.
But what I've been doing is just cooking them like on Sunday and then having them for the week. Just because I'm a fucking slacker. We're done with that.
Yeah.
I can't try anymore. So I was cooking, so it was 9 o'clock at night. I was like 2 meals into this thing. And they're easy enough that I can do it in a couple hours. It's no big deal. But it's 9 o'clock at night. And my phone rings. And it's I can tell it's a telemarketer. Because my phone says...
to call that late.
My phone says it's a potential scam.
Right.
You know? I'm like, I never answer. But I'm like, I don't fucking answer. I'm going to fucking answer and be like, are you crazy?
Right.
Are you out of your fucking mind? So I answer the phone. I'm like, hello. And they're like, Dana? And I'm like... Yeah. And he's like, you're on a recorded line. I'd like to discuss with you the property at blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it is 9 o'clock at night. Are you crazy? Mm-hmm. And I don't own that house. And it's my ex-wife's house. And I never owned that house. And I haven't lived there for 3 years. And it is 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
You know what this motherfucker said to me?
What did he say?
Ma'am, it's 8:55.
I would have to fucking fight him.
The way I screamed semantics, I was like, semantics? Like, you just fucking said to me, I'm still like,
yes.
I'm like, you just fucking said to me, it's 8:55? Sir, you... And he was like, have a great night, and he hung up on me. But I'm like... I'm so fucking like...
There's got to be some law broken there.
I was so... You're right, 9 o'clock probably is the limit, and that's why he said that. Because And it was 8:55. It was 8:55. And I'm like, you just fucking called me and said...
On a recorded line, no less.
I was like... I just wanted to fucking go through the phone. Motherfucker. Yeah. I don't want to be cooking. You know what I should be doing right now? I should be naked on my couch fucking watching TikToks about people fucking rapping about some story that happened when they were 5 years old. That's what I should be doing. But I fucked my own life up and I'm cooking 3 meals and you want to call me about a house I haven't owned for 3 years or never owned and you fucking hit me in the face with semantics, you fucking bitch. Oh my God.
That's why he's a telemarketer, because he's got no soul.
I was like, and I didn't want to be like, I know it's your job, right? Like, part of me does be like, I get it, right? Like, nobody fucking wants to be doing that shit unless they're, like, really good at it and maybe there's a fucking thing. I don't know, man. But, like, he hit me with that 8:55. I was like, you're done here. We're done.
No, he actually told you were done.
He did. He said, "Ma'am, have a good night." Click. Because I think he probably heard me, like, my internal decombustion happening, because I was like, oh, it's on, motherfucker. I'm at the fucking, where are you? Where are you at? And they're calling from, like, local numbers, too. So I'm like, are you fucking close? Like, where actually are you, though?
And if you block it, they will just call from a different
number.
Yeah, they
do. Yeah. Over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's my rant for the day.
Speaking of rant, you had another little rant not too long ago about a ghost boy.
Well, you're kind of making me seem like I have a pattern here.
I mean,
so now I will say that the ladies from Twisted and Uncorked were the one that called him a ghost boy.
Okay.
But just to recap, if you haven't heard that episode, that when I was getting my kitchen done, there was a little boy that kept coming into my house telling the contractors that he lived here, and he was like going through my things and like touching stuff, whatever. I have like seen his like helmet in my yard, so like I guess he's still like hanging out here. What? Not in my house though, because his little bike helmet.
Oh,
like and it's like a little bike helmet that you would picture, like it's got like a spiked mohawk. Yeah, it's like black and red, and it's got a spiked mohawk.
Oh, he's Dennis the Menace.
Well, oh my god, that's so funny you say that, because I had a little let's just call him my nephew, hanging out here this weekend, and he was riding my bike around the neighborhood. He made friends with the neighborhood kids. There's like kids all over this neighborhood. And I said, are any of them a little redheaded kid? Mm-hmm. And he was like, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, he'd be like 6 or 7 years old. He's like, no, I didn't see him. And I was like, oh, okay. And I told him about this kid's 12 that's, hung out here this weekend. And I told him what happened. He's like, oh, that's so funny. But the boys that he became friends with, they were like riding around, and my neighbor has a pear tree, I guess. And they like went into the guy's yard and like ate pears off of his tree. And so the guy was like not really thrilled by that, I guess. And so when my friends came to pick up their kid, they were like, the husband was talking to the neighbor, and the neighbor called the kid's Dennis the Menace. He's like, that kid's Dennis the Menace. And I'm like, I wonder if he's talking about that little redheaded kid, because not that that means he's a menace, but he is the one that like I think is least being watched, you know, supervised.
Clearly.
Literally just walking into people's houses and being like, what's this box? I live here. These are my things.
He might be in this room at this very moment.
He might be here. We just reveal yourselves.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty solid. I've seen him a couple of times. But, and that's
but he might be frogging.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
We should check the attic before you go. He's just a little dude, though. But my main concern for him is that, I mean, clearly someone thinks he's Dennis the Menace in this neighborhood. So, like, don't just, like, go into people's houses, little guy. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
That's dangerous. Doing? It's dangerous, yeah. Also, I'm a nice lady, but, like...
Where are your parents?
Well, the neighbor was saying that I think the kid... I don't know if... and that's the thing, is I don't know if they're talking about him. I'm making... This is a lot of assumptions. There's lots of kids in this neighborhood. But the guy was saying that, it's... that kid has gotten dropped off because his parents aren't around, and it's his grandmother or something. Like, so I'm not sure, like, if he even lives in the neighborhood, or like, what the fuck, where he comes from. But if I see his helmet in my yard, I just, like, put it out on the little electrical box so he can find it. I'm like, that means you were, like, in my yard, you took your helmet off,
right?
Like, in the back, like, off to the side. Like, what are you doing back there, kid?
Sneaking into your house through some crevice. That's why he had to take the helmet off.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, sure. It's possible. My electric bill was pretty expensive this month.
Jesus.
But yeah, that's the update. I don't know his name. I don't know anything about that little dude. I have looked for him in the group of kids, because I do want to talk to him and be like, I don't want to yell at him or anything. I just want to be like, hey man, you can't go in people's houses because it's dangerous. Not that I'm mad. If you're hungry, you want to come over, like
right.
I'll make you.
No, but he's hearing you right now because he's in your
Maybe.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him in the day. I mean, I've never seen him when I've looked for him. I've never been able to like find him. I don't know which house he lives in. I don't know anything about him.
Ghost Boy
I don't know his name.
You.
Yeah, he just shows up here.
That's wild.
That is true. That's a very good point. Maybe they're onto something.
Yeah. So we also had a request from a listener. Mm-hmm. I told a story about the lucrative career that is poop donation.
Right.
And Dana followed up with claiming that not just anyone can donate poop.
Right.
And we had a listener reach out to us and confirm that they are in dire need of poop donators.
Right.
They work in the medical field and they use it for multiple procedures.
Can you imagine if they weren't in the medical field? And just like, send it to this address.
God damn it.
The need is very high for
Right,
quality poop.
Yeah, but not just anybody can send their poop in, right?
Right,
It's got to be specific.
Well, you said.
Yeah, but that might have been, from my understanding, I didn't think that was like, I thought that was for like a testing thing. I didn't know that was for like what you're talking about, that like they use it for procedures and shit. I thought this was like a study that they were doing, but I could be like fully like, maybe they just need healthy poop for whatever the fuck you were saying.
One of the things that it treats is called C. diff. So people that can't use or have overextended the use of certain antibiotics and they can't produce proper bile to have to go properly. So they use other people's bile to create the proper good bacteria in their intestines.
Sometimes I just think like what the 1700s were like.
Oh my God.
Like, just fucking imagine.
Oh, just splashing around in lice and poop.
People were just dying for when you're like, and you know, they had 11 children and 3 of them lived to adulthood. You're just like, yeah, obviously. Like,
right.
And we're just like,
let's not hug this one too much.
Yeah, right. Let's name them all Chris. So maybe one of them. Just like, and now we're just like, we just take poop from other people and put it inside this person and help them poop better. And the 1700 people are like, we washed our hands in poop. So,
or they had the common. They didn't have toilet paper, so they had like a sponge on a stick in a bucket, and they would just like, you know, take that bucket and up their butt and then put it back in the thing, and then the next person would take that same
ain't no fucking way
sponge and put it back in the thing, you know?
I'll be honest with you. You know, when they're like, you sleep this many hours a day.
Yeah.
You spend this much time, you know, showering.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of time I have spent contemplating about how people wipe their ass throughout history is really disturbing. Like, it's so disturbing.
Yeah.
Because, like, we were literally shitting outside, like, not less than 100 years ago.
Yeah, just pinching a loaf.
I mean, literally, like, I mean, obviously that people are still doing that in many parts of the world, but I mean, like, literally they were like, here's a box outside. It's everyone just shit in it. And like, at some point we'll dump it out. And everybody was just like, cool, this is great. Imagine. I'd imagine. I mean, I do it constantly. It's literally like one of the things I think about like a couple of times a week.
That used to be a job for the royals. The royals used to have a royal ass wiper. Like, you know, kings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Used to have
Hey, man.
and that was like the highest, like the most important job. You know what I mean? Like Secretary of State or whatever.
So I watched a TikTok the other day. And this person said that they had this guy come into the hospital and he was very, very large. And that he couldn't exactly clean himself in the back area.
Right.
And they were like,
Dana, I have to picture this. Dana has got very watery eyes. She's holding the shirt collar.
She's clutching her pearls.
Yeah, / necklace. And which is literally like a pearl.
It's a crystal, yeah.
Yeah. And she's just like staring into the mic going, yeah.
So what this man was doing, because even in the shower, you know, it wasn't getting fully cleaned. He was going to one of the gyms in the area and using their jacuzzi once a week to clean everything out through the jet.
Get a blowout.
What gym was this? So that I can avoid it.
We don't know. Here's the thing: we don't know. It's local. It was just
local?
We don't know if it's local or anything like that. It was just a TikTok I was watching, but they said, probably don't go to. I mean,
that's
gym
ingenuity.
jacuzzi.
You know what? Good on you. You got to get it clean somehow.
Also, $25 from Amazon will get you a bidet and attach it to your toilet.
Right. Bidet. That's better. That's smarter. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
You're smart. You're
Occasionally.
smart cookie.
Occasionally. Also, probably all that medical shit I just spewed out earlier is probably all wrong. So who knows how smart I
if
am.
you're coming to the crime diner to get your medical advice,
Yeah.
that feels like a you problem. Honestly.
We need to start giving a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. Do not take our medical advice.
Definitely don't do that ever.
Yeah. Speaking of medical advice, you think that
Queen of transitions.
you think that going vegan would be better for you. Right?
Yeah.
Like you got Impossible Burgers.
People
and all
say.
that. Yeah, right? Like it's the thing, right? You wanna eat less meat.
Right.
Red meat, right? More high
meat, some
protein,
people
vegetable
think.
protein.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Whatever that is.
It's no meat, no vegetable, no meat protein whatsoever when you're vegan.
Right.
Like no cheese, no dairy,
exactly.
no nothing.
Right. So you would think that would extend itself to cannibalism, right? Because that's the ultimate
meat.
red meat.
Oh,
like
we're so good. Yeah.
We're in tune.
We're just,
Yes.
You've been my friend a long time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Finish each other's cannibalism
Sandwiches.
So, in Fayetteville, Arkansas this week, an executive of Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat's the big one.
Yeah,
that's
big
the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, if you don't know what Beyond Meat is, it's a vegan food products company. He has been charged with felony battery.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I thought vegans were supposed to be kind.
Yeah, love and light.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was making terroristic threats after a fight outside of a football game. I'm imagining alcohol was involved.
Is alcohol vegan? I bet.
Yeah, I mean, vodka's produced from a potato, right?
Right, yeah.
A potato.
A potato. Potatoes are so versatile.
I mean, honestly, yes.
But like honey is not, so like it couldn't be anything that's like made from like honey.
A byproduct. You're thinking of a byproduct of an animal, which
Which is
honey.
vegan. Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, go ahead.
But okay,
So he was hungry. What'd he do?
he wasn't hungry.
He was hungry because he's not eating meat.
Right. Well, he's
hungry.
I'm going to take this moment and apologize to all our vegan listeners at this moment.
We've been pretty clear we're meat eaters on this podcast. We've at length discussed what human meat tastes like.
Right.
Multiple times.
But you know what? I think veganism is the ultimate sacrifice. Honestly, like I applaud you. I can't believe you're doing it.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
We had our fact checker send
the
us
anonymous
a text message not too long ago about how they were working with a patient that passed away from a fire. And the smell that was coming off of their body smelled like ham.
I hate you. Oh my god. This episode needs a full ass disclaimer.
Honey roasted ham?
Nydia. Good now you did it. I could not breathe. I was scared I was not gonna breathe.
I'm serious though. Was it a good taste?
It was probably Virginia smoked at least.
Because ham has a sweet taste.
Yeah, it does.
It has like a sweet smell.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Back to the story. So he gets into a fight outside of a football game,
Right.
and
is it a high school game or or you don't know what kind of game?
he's an executive. I'm assuming it's a professional.
like a football game,
Yeah,
like a football game. Okay.
And he bites the man's nose.
No.
Yeah. He bit the man's fucking nose.
That's the most non-vegan thing you could do.
I mean, did he swallow? Is the question.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
no, my brain. It's going very bad places.
He was charged with felony battery. Oh, gross. Oh my god, can vegans swallow? Just a fucking light bulb went off.
Me too, bitch. I literally was like, oh no. I don't know, because now this is never going to stop thinking about it.
Holy shit.
I mean, I guess it's ethically sourced.
Right? Oh my god. So then vegans would eat meat if it came from a human.
It's not eating meat. They're eating an animal byproduct.
But wait, if they are vegan and pro-life,
You're crossing a line.
Oh, do you think
they're eating little people? Billions and billions.
Yeah, millions. Oh, God. Oh, my God, I can't.
Speaking of eating people. Many people. Dude, I was not prepared for the Jeffrey Dahmer show.
Did you start it?
Yes.
Did you finish it?
No.
I didn't
had
watch
to
it.
stop in the. I think I stopped in the second episode where he meets the 14-year-old.
Oh, really?
Oh, I had to stop.
Really?
I could. It was
People
too
are
much
talking
for me.
about it quite a bit. Is there a lot of episodes?
I don't know, because I had to stop. It was just too much for me, and that's saying
That's a lot. That's a lot considering some of the stories you fucking tell.
Yeah. My mom. See, I draw the line
Shit
at
she
kids.
just said.
I draw the line at kids, though. That shit.
Yeah, and
really...
Dahmer was like particularly egregious.
Yes.
Like, it's unfortunate too because, like, you know, and I think we talk about that a lot in like true crime stuff, is like him and Ted Bundy and like, you know,
they're
John
like
Wayne
seen as
Gacy,
the
like
celebrities.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
like celebrities, and like he was fucking egregious.
Yeah.
Like the shit that dude did
Oh my God.
is beyond, bro.
Right.
Like beyond.
And
Not
to
that
see,
like
you know, to
any
see
murder,
my boo, Evan Peters. Like,
no,
you know, I've
he's
always
so
had
sweet.
a girl
and he
crush
always
on him.
plays like a total like
He's
off
versatile.
the wall character. Yeah.
He's a versatile actor.
Didn't he play another serial killer recently? Like a couple.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, yeah, I haven't started it yet.
Oh
Looks
my God.
good.
Yeah, my mom's eating it up. Like, she's just loving it. And I'm like,
Does
I
she
couldn't. Huh? Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, but I can't. I had to stop. I might go back to it, but I had to stop. I couldn't.
Yeah.
It would give me nightmares.
Really?
Yeah.
No, maybe I want to watch now.
He scares me. Jeffrey Dahmer was one of the...
Dahmer was fucking scary.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, the thing about, again, Dahmer and Ted Bundy is they seem so unassuming. They seem so... like, John Wayne Gacy, like, he's a creep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't be a clown. What are you doing? That's weird.
Yeah.
This is weird behavior, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Also, with your creepy triangle eyes, like, no. But Jeffrey Dahmer seems like... Maybe I'd be like, I probably wouldn't hang out with him, but like, I probably wouldn't be like super scared of him, you know, walking down the street or whatever.
Right.
And, you know, I'm getting old. You know, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
And my eyes just decided to stop working when I turned 39. So I had to go get glasses. And like, I guess like those serial killer glasses are like all the rage. And the lady like kept suggesting them. I'm like, I can't wear those. I have a fucking true crime podcast. She's like, the serial killer has 2 lines. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer. And I was like, I don't care. I can't fucking wear those.
The fact that she knew that.
I was like, these look like serial killer glasses. She's like, they're coming back. I'm like, I can't wear that.
Yeah, no thanks.
But yeah,
Let's get some dessert to
let's-
wash that bad taste in my mouth.
lighten this up a bit.
And so I stopped thinking of honey ham.
Oh, fuck. I'm not going to like that. Oh, God. I can already tell I don't like the texture of that.
What is it?
It's called cassava cake.
Oh, okay. I've heard of this.
What?
I don't think I'm going to like it, though.
It's cassava cake.
It looks like toasty flan.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like toasty
Like, or creme brulee.
which I don't really like that much.
Creme brulee cubes.
Thicker. It's thicker.
It's thicker.
And does it have
looks-
cassava in it?
Yeah, it's made with cassava. Why would it be called
I think
that?
I know what this is because I think we must have done a Philippine episode at one point, or
Yeah.
maybe for book club or something, and I went to make this. And I was like, I can't make that. Not that I couldn't make it for the podcast that time, but
Okay.
I think I know what this is. But I'm nervous about the texture.
Okay, all right.
certainly.
I'm not nervous about the texture. I'm nervous about the ingredient.
What does cassava taste like? What do you mean? Why are you like,
Cassava is like a potato, like a stringy potato. And
like a yuca?
yes.
It is
yes.
a yuca.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a yuca.
That's what it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Oh. So it's gonna have a weird texture and no flavor.
Well, I'm sure she sugared the shit out of it.
Okay.
All right, let's try this.
What do you think about cassava cake?
I did not like it. The flavor was there, but the texture just didn't do it.
Isn't
for
it the
me.
worst thing in the whole entire world
The
when that
texture
happens?
just fucking ruins. You're like, oh my god, I really want to love this because it
Yeah.
had like such a sweet caramelly fucking taste to it, especially the top.
Yeah.
But knowing the stringiness of the cassava that was in there, I just couldn't.
See, I didn't get any.
I didn't get any
I
stringy.
did.
What it tasted like to me, or like the texture of it to me, was when you're a little kid and you take the packet of cream of wheat and you put it in the microwave for too long because you don't know how to do it.
Right.
And then the whole thing comes out as like a big disc of cream of wheat.
Uh-huh.
That's the texture of it.
Yeah.
But that I like that texture because I grew up eating fucking overcooked cream of wheat like a
Right.
weirdo. The flavor was fine, especially that little tiny layer on top that was like, I forget what you said, it was like condensed milk or something and
It was
sugar.
like a
and whatever.
caramelized.
Yeah, like a little.
Yeah.
And that was really good.
That was really good.
I didn't hate it. I saved it because I still want to finish I'm going to have a second dinner after
Yeah.
you guys leave.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat the rest of the stew and the rest of that cake. But I'm into it.
Good.
Because when I first saw it, I was like, fuck, I'm going to hate that. I'm going to hate that. I'm going to hate the way the texture of it. And I'm glad I had very low expectations because I was like, oh, okay, this is actually good. Just because of the texture. The taste was fine. It tasted
See,
good.
I didn't get
had-
any of the stringiness.
No, I
don't
didn't
know
get
what
any of
she
it.
was talking.
I think she
Yeah.
put it in her head that it was going to be like that.
Probably, but I did spit out a string. So it was the texture of like bread pudding, like which I love.
Absolutely no, it was not.
But I don't
Bread
like,
pudding makes me want to take my skin off and put it in the trash
Really?
can. Ugh.
See, to me, it felt like a firm bread pudding. But just knowing, I think it fucked with my head, knowing
Yeah.
that it's cassava.
Yeah.
Because I eat cassava and I love cassava, but I eat it with salty, like something salty.
Yeah. So you
know?
always do that. When you go to a Thai restaurant, they have mango and sweet rice.
Oh, I cannot eat
and
that.
I fucking love sticky rice, like mango and sticky rice. It's like
Really?
sweet, and they make it with like coconut milk, and it's like real sweet.
Right.
And like the mango and the rice together. And I like fucking hate rice pudding.
Uh-huh.
Like but I guess because you like rice is such like culturally
Yeah.
for you guys
Yeah.
that like eating it sweet it like turns you off or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess
we have desserts with rice.
Yeah, we
You
have
just
rice
don't like
pudding
it?
and- I
We
just don't like it.
Oh, I can't. I could never eat rice pudding because it's like lumpy liquidness. No, thank you. But the sweet rice is just so good to me. But every time I like talk about it, Nydia's like, I hate that. I can't eat that.
Yeah, I think
So it's probably
for
the
me
same
it's a
thing.
cultural thing. Like
Yeah.
if I'm used to eating you salty, I can't eat you sweet. Dana just gave me
Come again?
That needs to be reworded.
I'm sorry.
Because Nydia does not eat anyone either way.
I'm
She
just
eats her
saying.
honey baked too.
I'm just saying. I just wasn't not
So in your brain, if it's supposed to
Yeah.
be savory, it's got to be savory.
Yes.
If it's supposed to be sweet, it's got to be sweet.
Yes.
All right.
yeah. It's like a brain thing.
Expand your brain, babe.
I ate a good portion of it. I did eat a good portion of it because the flavors were there.
Yeah, yeah.
They were like a sweet
Did you just
caramel.
like scrape the top off and then leave the cake?
No, I mean I did eat a part of the cake and the top, of course, but
Yeah.
I just kept thinking like this should be savory. This is savory. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So it just
I liked it. I would eat it. I'm going to eat the rest of it. And I'm going to take a plate when you guys leave. So,
Okay.
There you go.
and that's really, honestly, my opinion is the true opinion that matters of this podcast.
Obviously.
So, I mean,
Yes.
no one gives a shit what you think.
No, this is Dana and friends.
Yes, that's right. And anyone who listens to this podcast knows that's not true.
You came here to tell me a story.
Yeah, would you like to hear it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In August of 1980, Carol Bundy confessed her connection to the Sunset Strip Slayer who had been terrorizing Los Angelinos all summer.
In September of 2012, the cult of the Unification Church, also known as the Moonies, mourned the death of their leader, Sun Myung Moon.
Tune into Murder Murder News every Friday to hear us detangle another twisted tale from true crime history.
If you're an amateur sleuth who hopes to someday solve a cold case or locate a missing person, tune into Murder Murder News and start off your search with a deep dive into some fascinating and very solvable cases.
We always take a victim-first stance and like to focus on crimes affecting marginalized communities, which typically don't get enough media attention.
Subscribe to Murder Murder News wherever you get your podcast to make sure you never miss an episode.
So today I got my story from dailyjester.org, Bloomberg.com, and Wikipedia. So to tell the story, of course, I have to start with a little history of the Philippines. Spain established its first permanent settlement in the Philippines in 1565 and
I think I know what your story is.
fucking took over. Okay. So
Yes, Spain colonized. the fuck out of
yeah,
that
right.
place.
So when America defeated Spain in 1898, the Filipino people thought centuries of colonialism were over for them and that they'd be able to finally have a free country and rule themselves.
Right.
Now, as we know, when America's involved, fuck all the way off.
Really?
Yeah, they declared the birth of a republic. They wrote a constitution and formed a government under the leadership of Emilio Aguinaldo. But in true American fashion, there was no way in hell that the government was going to give up a beautiful land that they could exploit for all that it was worth.
I mean-
just no fucking way.
Right.
Under the terms of the Paris Treaty, which is what ended the war, America took possession over the 7,600 islands that make up the Philippines, paying Spain $20 million for it. Like,
It's a bargain.
what the fucking Spain colonized the goddamn country? Like, why do you get any money? And the poor people of the Philippines are like, wait, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking? We have a president now. Like, they like established their own republic, and it's Spain and America are like the parents that are like, just sit down, guys. We're gonna handle all of this.
Yes.
Mom and dad will like figure out what you're gonna go on the weekends, and the Filipino people are like, wait, what the fuck?
Right.
What do they get out of the deal? A fucking headache and more colonialism.
Uh-huh.
So obviously the Filipino people were fucking pissed, and they started their own war, the Philippine-American War, that went from 1899 to 1902. And it's considered by many historians to be the first counterinsurgency fought by the U.S. So,
Really?
Yeah. So like, I had to Google counterinsurgency because I've like heard that word a million times, but I like, didn't actually know what it meant. And it really, what it means is that like, when a government uses the army to like fight guerrilla warfare, people on the street and like killing civilians and shit like that. This was like one of the first, this is considered the first time America has actually done that. The war featured guerrilla warfare by the Filipino people, and on the American side, concentration zones, scorched earth tactics, retaliation, and torture with things like what we would consider today like waterboarding. Like this was like the beginning of the US being like, we have way more fucking weapons than you, and we're going to use them.
Right.
And they decimated the Philippines.
Jesus Christ. How come we don't learn about that? I mean,
why the fuck would we learn about Why would we learn about the truth? Like, come on. In the face of all the controversy, the Roosevelt administration declared a victory in 1902, leaving 4,200 U.S. soldiers dead, 20,000 Filipino soldiers dead, and the estimated civilian casualties was between 250 and 700,000 people.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. People, like civilians.
Yeah,
like,
civilians. 20,000 soldiers, 200,000 civilians.
Or up to 700,000.
Jesus Christ.
That's why you don't learn about it.
Right.
Because it was
a slaughter.
It was a massacre, yeah. So don't worry. The White House valorized the U.S. troops for their actions.
Okay.
But the military itself had a difference of opinion of the White House. The commanding general of the U.S. Army at the time wrote a report saying that the American use of torture was systematic and the result of a breakdown of moral order. Like, they were like, this was fucked up. Like,
yeah.
This was fucked up. General Mills wrote...
General Mills?
I'm sorry. That was not General Mills. General Miles wrote, "Nothing could be more detrimental to the military service of the United States or more discreditable to American arms than the commission or in the slightest degree the justification of such acts without belonging to a different age or civilization than our time." Like, this is barbaric, basically, is what he's saying. The White House tried to discredit Miles, his report, by saying that it was misleading and that he is obviously driven by political ambition. The Philippines would not gain their own independence from the United States till 1946, which to me sounds like the end of World War II. Like, they signed the Treaty of Manila, where the United States recognized the independence and sovereignty of the Republic of the Philippines. But, of course, not without the treaty containing a provision that allowed the U.S. to retain existing military bases and assets in which the U.S. continues to still use today.
Right, so you can have your independence, but we're still
going to hang out here.
Yeah.
And
just like, we're breaking up, you can date other people, but I'm still going to crash here, and I'm still going to have my stuff here.
Yeah, and I'm still going to take things that I need and want.
Yeah.
And, you know.
And every once in a while, I'm going to sleep with you.
Right. Or much more aggressive.
Right.
So the U.S. had a fondness for interfering in presidential elections. Weird. That's weird. That's weird.
Right.
They tactically supported Ferdinand Marcos during his brutal 2 decades rule, so they could use the country as a proxy turf for the Cold War, because they're like positioned conveniently, between Asia and Russia and shit. The CIA helped suppress communist peasant rebellion by faking vampire attacks to scare superstitious guerrillas into leaving their position.
Vampire attacks.
Which, like, honestly, I didn't have a ton... Like, I want to do a little bit more research into that, because that sounds like right up my fucking alley. Like, I was just like, what? What are you saying? But American culture continues to dominate so many aspects of Filipino life.
Right.
From beverages to, like, swing dancing and karaoke and even apple pie.
Oh, they love their karaoke.
They do love their karaoke.
They will kill for their karaoke.
Yes, they fucking will.
Yes, if you do, I Did It My Way. Yeah. Frank Sinatra's My Way. If you do that poorly, bad in the Philippines, that is a death sentence.
Yeah. So, of course, American companies show up and try to capitalize on their love and interest of American culture. 2 companies in particular, the PepsiCo Inc. and Coca-Cola Company, compete in the soda game in the Philippines. They fought in ways that would never be allowed in the United States. At one point, Pepsi executives were caught faking the books to show higher sales records than Coke, and they were forced to have a $90 million write-off because I guess they lied about how much they made and whatever.
Damn.
They had employee espionage and, like, dirty tricks to, like, fuck each other up, like, in the Philippines to sell soda.
To sell fucking soda.
Coke kept the upper hand by mainly undercutting Pepsi's prices. By 1992, Coke, like, dominated 83% of the market in the Philippines. Like, to the point that they no longer even felt the need to spend money advertising. They were like, we win the Philippines. Go somewhere else. We win the Philippines. But Pepsi had a really good idea. It was called the Pepsi Number Fever. A contest.
I knew you were going to go with this story.
Do you know this story?
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Martin, you're working at surgery. Doctor, heard about the number fever? Huh? Number fever? What fever? It's the number fever promo. You can win up to 1 million numbers. 1 million pesos? How? Just look under the specially marked crowns at 7-Up, Mirinda, Mountain Dew, and Pepsi. And if the number is the same as any of the daily winning numbers, you win the amount printed on the crown. So how do I know which are the daily winning numbers? A winning number is announced daily on radio, TV, and in the newspaper. What are we waiting for? Come on!
So in February 1992, Pepsi Philippines announced that they would print numbers ranging from 001 to 999 inside the little caps of the Pepsi, like the glass bottle, like caps.
Right.
In Pepsi, 7-Up, Mountain Dew, and Merdina bottles. I don't know what soda they had at the time, I guess. Certain numbers could be redeemed for prizes that ranged from 100 pesos, which is about $4, to 1 million pesos, which was about 40,000 American dollars in 1992.
Right.
Which
is a lot of money.
Life-changing money for
people who were like
this,
destitute.
Yes, destitute. Yeah. And this would have been the equivalent of 611 times the average monthly salary in the Philippines. I mean, massive amounts of money. It would take them out of poverty. And Pepsi Number Fever was initially wildly successful. It increased Pepsi's monthly sales from 10 million to 14 million, which is still $10 million in a poverty-stricken nation is like shocking.
It's
you know
all
what I mean?
the dollars.
Yeah. So it went up to $14 million, and the market share, rose from 19 to 24%. So like giving Pepsi a bit of a leg up in the competition with Coke, I guess. The winning numbers were announced nightly on the news. By May, 51,000 prizes had been redeemed, including 17 grand prizes. And so since this contest was so successful, they decided to take it another 5 weeks to May 8th.
To extend it, yeah.
Yeah, like extend it further, right? So number fever hit Coke like a sucker punch. They're like, what the fuck? Like, so Coke tried to like have its own little competition, but like it didn't really do anything. And Pepsi was like, hell yeah, look at us go, right? The president of Pepsi Cola products in the Philippines at the time boasted that half the country's population was participating, making it, quote unquote, the most successful marketing promotion in the world. And like, it was good. Like, people were into it. Pepsi allocated $2 million for the prizes. Like, they were like, this is how much we're going to spend.
Right.
They fucking controlled everything. They know exactly how many we're going to win. Like, obviously, right? They had planned that there would be 2 winners of the $1 million pesos. So there'd be 2 winning caps. On May 25th, 1992, the nightly Channel 2 News announced that the grand number prize for that day was 349.
Right.
That's the number, 349. So every day it would say, number 127, 349, whatever. That day it was 349. 349 was supposed to be marked as a losing number, and somehow there was like a computer glitch, and it was announced mistakenly that night.
Right.
The grand prize winning bottle caps were tightly controlled by PepsiCo. 2 bottle caps with that day's winning numbers were printed on inside of them, as well as a security code for like confirmation, and they were supposed to be distributed. However, before the contest was extended, 349 had been marked as like a failed number.
Right, a non-winning number.
Right. So over 800,000 bottle caps had been printed with that number, but without the security code.
Right.
Okay, so it had the number, but didn't have the
because it was a losing
dud.
number.
It wasn't right, exactly. So these bottle caps cumulatively were worth $32 billion.
Jesus, if each person grabbed
it. Yeah, right. The number was read on the news, and people flipped their fucking lids.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, literally got their caps and ran to PepsiCo, like wherever their local Pepsi was. Thousands of Filipinos wanted to claim their prize. Pepsi initially responded that it was mistakenly printed, and since it didn't have confirmation code, that they could not be redeemed. And they were like, nah, fuck you.
Right. Yeah.
You said this was the number.
Exactly. We don't want to hear it.
Yeah, hell yeah. So newspapers the next morning printed that the number was read wrong, and it was actually 134, which is just added to the confusion. People were like, what the fuck? Was the number 349? Was it 134? Like, what the fuck is going on? And of course, people were like, fuck all the way off.
Right. Yes.
Fuck all the way off. These are people like, they can't barely feed their families.
Right.
Like, this is life-changing money. So of course they were fucking pissed.
Right.
Like, they were like, no, we want that money.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Oops, that's your mistake, not mine.
Also, you're a $1 billion corporation.
Exactly.
Like, come on. Also, this would have put them out of business. 100% would have put them out of business. After an emergency meeting of Pepsi executives at 3 a.m. on the 27th, they offered anybody with a 349 cap 500 pesos, which is $18.
Oh.
This was a gesture of goodwill.
Right.
This offer was accepted by 486,170 people. So half of the people took it. They were like, fine, whatever. Like, y'all fucked up. It was fine. And that the gesture of goodwill cost Pepsi $8.9 million.
Jesus Christ.
By the rest of the people that still had the winning caps in their hands, simply no.
Right. No,
I want my fucking million pesos. And these people formed consumer groups, the 349 Alliance. I mean, hundreds of them, but the 349 Alliance, which they organized boycotts of Pepsi, any Pepsi products. They held rallies outside Pepsi's offices and the Philippine government because they wanted the government to be like, force this American company to pay. Absolutely. The people at Pepsi said they were eating death threats for breakfast. Like, people were fucking pissed.
Right.
Most of the protests were peaceful, but on February 13th, 1993, a school teacher named...
Them damn school teachers.
Yeah. Ancedia Rosario made her way to a sari, which I guess is like a little market, in Manila to buy rice. And as she reached the market, a Pepsi delivery truck arrived. and someone threw a homemade bomb that bounced off the truck and detonated, killing Rosario and a 5-year-old girl that was standing nearby.
No.
5 other people were injured also that day. In May, 3 Pepsi employees in Davao were killed by a grenade thrown into a warehouse.
Jesus.
By, like, people that were fucking pissed. So, like I said, Pepsi executives were receiving death threats and...
But the people actually dying were their employees.
Yeah, or, like, innocent bystanders on the side of the fucking road, yeah. As many as 37 trucks were damaged and being pushed over, stoned, and burned. One of 3... This is where it gets interesting. One of the 3 men who were accused of orchestrating one of the bombings claimed that he had been paid by Pepsi to stage the attacks in order to frame the protesters.
What? That's just fucking ugly. Pepsi.
I fucking believe that shit.
I believe it.
After what happened with the riots here and shit, and you were seeing, like, people from the other side, like, doing shit that, like, whatever, you're like, oh, I fucking believe that shit.
Absolutely.
5 years ago, I'd be like, oh, that's so crazy. No, definitely. I'm like, oh, fuck you,
Absolutely.
Pepsi. Oh, fuck you. The senator at the time suggested that the attacks were being perpetrated by rival bottlers attempting to take advantage of Pepsi's vulnerability, like maybe Coke or whoever.
Right.
About 22,000 people took legal action against PepsiCo. At least 689 civil suits were filed. 5,200 criminal complaints for fraud and deception were filed. In January 1993, Pepsi paid a fine of 150,000 pesos to the Department of Trade and Industry for violating the approved conditions of the promotion. So at least the government got some money.
Oh,
That's important.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's important because, you know, we all know how much money the government does need.
Right. And, you know, they put it right back into the
Right
people.
back into their pockets.
Right,
You spelled people.
I pronounced pockets wrong. Right?
Yeah.
On June 24th, 1996, a trial awarded the plaintiffs in one of the lawsuits 10,000 pesos, about $380 in quote-unquote moral damages.
Moral.
3 dissatisfied plaintiffs appealed, and on July 3rd, 2001, fucking 2001. Fucking 2001. This shit went on for over 10 years.
That was like 2 years ago. Doesn't it feel like that?
I literally was like, that just happened.
Yeah, that just happened. No, the fuck it didn't. That was more than 20 years ago. Isn't that sick?
Yeah, bro. As I just had to make the font bigger so I could see. The appellate court awarded these 3 plaintiffs 30,000 pesos, which is $570 US, as well as attorney fees. But Pepsi appealed against this decision. The suit would reach the Supreme Court, which in 2006 ruled that Pepsi is not liable to pay the amounts printed on the crowns to their holders, nor is Pepsi liable for any damages therein.
Did the robes of the Supreme Court justices have Pepsi logos on them?
Definitely on the tag.
Yeah.
They also stated that issues surrounding the 349 incident have been laid to rest and must no longer be disturbed in this decision.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, so good.
Yeah, they took it all the way to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, a decade later,
They're drinking Pepsi.
yeah, right, fucking sided with the giant major corporation instead of 3 people that took it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
out of hundreds of thousands of people, 3 people, and they got nothing.
Wow.
My understanding is they got nothing,
Wow.
and people still people still hate Pepsi in the Philippines. As far as people fucking boycott. When I'm saying like they were like flipping the trucks, they were like burning tires in the street.
Damn.
They were fucking pissed about this.
I'm gonna ask Natalie's fiance if he
knows about this?
Pepsi. Yeah. He's probably like spitting on the floor.
I mean, like this is the thing is like you're having this. Why do you need to be the best company in a nation where people can't barely feed themselves? Feed their
Right.
children and shit. Like, why do you give a fuck?
Well, wasn't like Philip Morris also like out there giving like infants cigarettes and shit?
Oh,
in the
Nestle.
Philippines?
Oh, I don't know about that. But
Yeah.
the Nestle Corporation with the baby formula and all that shit.
Oh my god.
Like we did that episode. I don't remember what it
Yeah,
was.
how long ago it was.
Yeah, that was under Wine Dine story time. But yeah, these corporations where they're like, not that I want to be like, if you want to fuck with somebody, at least fuck with Americans who like have the resource. I don't think any company should fuck with anybody.
No.
But you're like terribly fucking with like a nation of people who like are just like that we fucked them up in the first place. You know what I mean? Like we fucked with their elections. We made it so they can't like, you know, govern themselves without like, and we're still there like all over their land doing a bunch of bullshit. And we're like, and comes our capitalism to destroy your day.
Even further. It's disgusting.
It's so, like Cindy sent me this as a TikTok and I'm like, girl, what? What?
Yep.
This makes me so mad.
And then you want to boycott the companies, right? But then you see that they're literally attached to everything we eat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like a handful of companies that own everything else.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, you know, when I don't remember like what grade I was in, you know, 3rd, 5th, maybe something like that, when you like learn about monopolies and like you learn that America doesn't let you have a monopoly because monopolies are bad. And America, like these union like things, and like you know, when I was like a little kid, I just like remember being taught how like maybe the word better is indoctrinated, like how great America is because like anybody could become rich because we would never allow like these big companies to run everything, and we would never, you know, we would take care of our employees and blah, blah. And like as I'm an adult and I'm like learning about like these coal miner wars and like literally where companies were dropping bombs on cities in West Virginia to like make their coal miners like dig coal for them, and you're just like, no, we've been terrible this whole time. We've been terrible to our own people. We've been terrible to every other country we get our grubby little mitts in. Like it's fucked up, and we're just like, capitalism is so fun. Capitalism is the best.
Yeah, but then you think like, okay, what are other countries doing too? You know what I'm saying? Like what's China doing to destroy the world? What's, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
all these superpower countries.
It would stand to reason that like literally any person that like wants to be in power and control something
is a sociopath.
Is the person that should not be in power and controlling anything.
Right.
I just learned this story recently, and I don't know enough information about it to like whatever. But there was a group of people in France in the 1800s, like right when, you know, Marie Antoinette and all, they were like overthrowing the government, and they were winning at some point, and like the people were winning,
right? And
they were like these leftist, like socialist, whatever, anarchist, I would say, even dare to say.
Were they the bourgeois?
No, I think that's Russia.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, they overthrew the government and they were winning. And
Look at us talking history without knowing shit.
Well, this story was interesting to me because what happened was, like, one of the things about what I'm just saying is, like, you know, if you want to be in power, you shouldn't be in power. So these people won. They overthrew the government, and they were like, let's immediately have an election.
Right.
And it can't be anybody that's in our group because we don't want to have... And they immediately gave the power over to somebody else who just fucked it all up.
Yeah.
And, like, so it's like, good job, right? Good. That was a good try. Next time, like... Maybe someone, let's like get a little bit established first. Right, and like, if you think if they could have fucking got that off the ground, it would have changed the course of history for everyone. Because France was a superpower back then. Yeah. But and like, still, you know.
Maybe we should have like a bunch of presidents. You know what I mean? Not just one person, but like a...
Well, like sometimes when you think about like the way America was like sort of set up, like... And this is like, again, not 100% accurate, but right, like if the person who wins like the presidency, and then the person who loses is the vice president. Like we didn't have, like, it was not supposed to be like, oh, the vice president or the president picks his own vice president. Like it was supposed to be like 1 and 2, so both sides are covered. You know what I mean? Or like, and we also had 15 people running instead of just 2 options. Like, you know what I mean? It was much more...
Yeah, that 2-party system, it has to go.
Yeah, it's so fucked.
It's because it's the same party. It's the same side. It's a double-sided coin. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's irrelevant.
It's the same thing. Yeah. They're fucking the same thing.
Yeah.
So... It's just... I can't even get into it.
Yeah, obviously...
It fucking upsets me that we don't have the choice... between two
a real choice.
We don't have a fucking choice.
A real choice, yeah.
You know?
But it's like, it's just, when you like step back and you're just like, God damn, we have fucked everything up that we've ever gotten our fucking mitts on. Everything. You can't even have a fucking contest because you can't fucking do... What the fuck, dude?
We were meant to stay in small tribes.
You know, the more and more you say that, I'm like, I mean, there's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here.
There's too many.
There's a lot of people here.
And with that, the queen of transitions has spoken.
That's right. I do have one question, though.
What?
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Always?
I'd prefer neither because I like sparkling water.
Of course you do.
I do.
Sparkling water is probably owned by one of the two companies. Which one is it that...
No, but I mean taste-wise, Pepsi or Coke?
I don't really like it. I like sparkling water.
Pepsi or Coke?
God. It's Coke all the way.
Yeah, it's
and
Coke
so,
for me too.
Yeah, if I had to choose between Pepsi and Coke, it's Coke.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you should have said first. So,
But
Coke,
I don't drink it. Like I don't really
I
like it.
can't drink any
carbonated
carbonated drinks, but Coke was always my go-to.
Yeah.
It mixes better with alcohol also. I got a grudge against Pepsi. So I did a school assignment, and I had to reach out to these companies to get information to talk about their companies and investing in them, right?
As a high school kid?
As a high school kid. And I reached out to Coke and I reached out to Pepsi. Guess who sent me like tons of marketing things and information?
Really?
Pepsi?
I hate you.
I can't stand you. And I can't stand Pepsi because they fully ignored everything.
Wow.
Coke sent me like this giant, beautiful packet with all this stuff, all this information, even stickers, different like stuff from different countries.
What?
Yeah,
That's
they
so
went
cool.
all out. They really went all out to send me stuff.
I kind of feel
Yeah.
like I remember being like, I don't think I care about Pepsi or like one way or the other, Pepsi or Coke, but I always found myself always constantly gravitating towards Coke.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe after like years and years of drinking Coke, I had a Pepsi and I'm like, wow, this is so sweet. And I would have never like think I would have noticed how much sweeter Pepsi is than Coke.
Wow.
But yeah, I bought Pepsi just for the episode, but
I was in love with Coke ever since I was a little girl because I thought there was actual cocaine in it.
the good old days.
And I used to feel like a grown adult.
Did you have your monocle and your big handlebar mustache?
Well,
I'm drinking Coke.
we are about to go to Atlanta, the land of the Coca-Cola.
Really?
I thought you were going to be like, and there's going to be Coke there. And I was like, word?
Now I'm scared of that shit. There's fentanyl mixed in it.
Yeah, I know. That's
Fuck
so sad.
that. Nope. Not for me. Not for this old timer. Those days are done.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. And you know what else is done? This podcast.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah. So if you want to hear more, we're on the socials. You guys know that? We're on the socials.
We are.
Yeah. We're on the TikToks and the Twitters.
Oh, no.
And the Facebooks and the Instagrams, right? Is there any other ones?
You sound very old.
Yeah. I'm trying to like with the Minnesota accent.
That's not your bag.
We're going to
Dana's
be
bag.
doing a live.
Yeah, we're going to be in Atlanta.
Yes.
Just in a few short weeks.
Yes.
Next week, actually, when you're listening to this episode.
Yeah.
Next week will be. So if you want to watch us live, come join us on Patreon at any level.
Yeah.
And if you're in the area, reach out and let us know you want to come watch us live.
We'll welcome you with open arms.
Uh-huh. You get to try Cindy's cooking. Not many people get to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I have to cook.
So it's kind of a vacation for us.
Yeah.
Not so much her. Sorry.
Yeah.
We have merch. We have Patreon. We have Buy Me a Coffee. Please come and support us because we do this with love, not with money.
That's right.
We're po. You can connect with us on all the socials. And if you're broke too, like we are, review or share with someone you love or hate. So that's it for us. We'll see you next week. And remember, do not get taken to the second location. Be good or be good at hiding a body. Cheers.
Cheers.
Are you okay?
Jesus Christ. You're so fucking loud. You're disgusting and I hate you both. Oh, God. I'm crying. Oh, my God. And holding my
my pizza.